Thank you very much, Program Director. Once again, good morning. Thank you very much, CEO, Mr. Odundo, for the warmest welcome you've given us, and to all the speakers before me for sharing their experiences. Good morning, distinguished colleagues. On behalf of the UN Habitat Executive Director, Madam Claudia Rosbanj, and the Secretary General, who, due to conflicting priorities, could not be able to join us, I extend once more my warmest greetings to you all. Good morning. Further, allow me to most sincerely thank the conveners of the Smart Cities Forum. We really appreciate the acknowledgement and allowing the UN Habitat to occupy a central role through its mandate as a global host of the World Cities Day in promoting sustainable development. UN Habitat leads actively globally in observing the annual Urban October, marked by two events. These key events, one is the World Habitat Day and the World Cities Day. Both these global events are significant and interconnected with their intent to strengthen urban resilience. World Habitat Day, just in context, which is commonly observed on the first Tuesday of every October, focuses on the broader right to adequate shelter and the state of our human settlements, both rural and urban. Its scope is fundamentally habitat, while the World Cities Day is actually observed on the 31st of October, which is tomorrow, and focuses specifically on the opportunities and challenges of urbanization itself. It really is about what the speakers have been explaining, the future of our cities as engine of growth, culture, innovation, and how to steer such growth sustainably. The first World Habitat Day, which is the UN's flagship day for urban issues, was celebrated in 2014 in Shanghai, China. The key objective being accelerating and progressing towards sustainable urban development. I must apologize, I was born in the 19th century, so I also brought paper. I tried hiding it with a black folder, but I am exposed because Brenda mentioned it now. So moving on, World Cities Day raises international awareness of urbanization trends, challenges, and visions for sustainable urban development, promotes international cooperation, and contributes immensely to global efforts to build equitable, prosperous, sustainable communities with access to better quality of life. This year, we are, as the UN Habitat, observing the Global World Cities Day in Bogota, Colombia. I have to note and appreciate the diversity of participants as I was reading the program today at this forum, ranging from government representations, both national and subnational, industry players, telecommunication and ICT, civil society, financial institution, and the built environment practitioners and academia, and everyone else who commands a vital role in strengthening digital transformation and collectively affirm that indeed the future is urban. UN Habitat plays a unique role as the focal point for sustainable urbanization in the United Nations system. This then continuously positions us as thought leaders for urban innovation, which is expressed through our commitment to advance a people-centered approach. This then contributes as well to technology deployment, and it actually goes though beyond technology deployment. This year at the UN Habitat Assembly, the Strategic Plan 2026-2029 was adopted by member states. We have committed through that strategy to explore, implement, and continuously shine the spotlights on how digitalization, data, knowledge, and innovation can expand access, particularly centralized in our mandate to affordable housing, land, and basic infrastructure, while reducing climate and disaster risks for most vulnerable communities. This squarely aligns with the aspiration of the New Urban Agenda, which promotes socially environmental sustainable towns. Our mandate is anchored in achieving the globally agreed Sustainable Development Goals, and particularly SDG 11 on sustainable cities, communities, is our key pillar of our mandate. Pursuant to a resolution that was driven and led by Kenya, which is Resolution 2 of 7 on adequate housing for all, adopted by the United Nations Assembly. This was back in 2023 here in June in Nairobi. To actualize this vision that Kenya led for global impact, the UN Habitat thereafter hosted the open-ended intergovernmental expert working group, which was initially hosted last year, 2024, and again recently last month, we've had this group of community of practice and experts really unpacking this agenda that was led by Kenya. The main task, amongst others, is to identify best practices for progressive realization of our urban issues. The UN Habitat Strategic Plan specifies innovation and knowledge as an enabler to achieve these urban development challenges. This therefore means we explicitly call for development or for deploying of frontiers technology, co-creating solutions, and new partnership model to bridge, particularly going back to our mandate, the housing gap, and realize equal access. We recognize that without innovation in finance, design, governance, global housing deficits will not be reduced, and as well informal settlement will not be transformed. As you may be aware, UN Habitat's work on innovation, digital technologies, and smart cities focusing on leveraging emerging technologies to solve pressing urban challenges. In our strategic plan, UN Habitat encourages agency to leverage digital technologies and smart cities approaches towards better quality of life in cities and human settlement, while managing the scourge of our social insecurities. Our strategic approach premises from an understanding of future of cities. It is not about technology. I'm sure we will all agree. It's not about technology for technology's sake. It's about efficient smart cities which are human-centric, in which technology is utilized as a tool to solve pressing urban challenges, to improve quality of life for all habitat and build more sustainable and equitable future. In anchoring this foundation, UN Habitat has worked with cities across the globe, just 2 examples. In Thailand, we have worked with the city of Bangkok to help integrate open data systems, digital governance, and urban management. Simply, we've taken this tool to really enable these cities to be able to access their urban work on a day-to-day basis. In Kenya, smart cities development is a key prospect for Kenya. I'm sure we'll all agree in this forum for cities' Kenyan urban future, as it promises efficient services, economic opportunities, and high quality of life. The UN Habitat, through that intention, has collaborated with Konza Technopolis. This collaboration represents ambitious efforts towards realizing this planned world-class sustainable technology hub. These technologies, this initiative, amongst others, underscore our commitment as UN Habitat to re-energize our intention on supporting innovation hubs that are set up to anchor essential paradigm on housing and urbanization, which is in tandem. This is imposed by a changing human context globally. Distinguished participants, allow me to mention a few areas in which UN Habitat is taking a lead locally and globally in engaging with digital discourse as related to the core agenda of this forum. We're setting up global guidance. This year, UN Habitat finalized the international guidelines on people-centered smart cities, a global framework developed with global experts on smart cities, providing governments and all levels with a blueprint to design strategies and policies that put sustainability, inclusion, resilient, and human rights at the center of digital urban transformation. These guidelines can be practically used as a reference point for the people-centered smart cities approach. Konza Technopolis was part of the aspect that built up in the creation and the establishment and the development of this guideline. Facilitating knowledge sharing, we convene and coordinate global thought leadership through the World Cities Report, the World Smart Cities Outlook, and the SDG 11 Synthesis Report, amongst other flagship publications. Through this platform, through platforms like the World Urban Forum, we connect with all stakeholders to exchange best practice, learn from one another. We strengthen capacity. Our country and regional programs helps national and local government translate their principles into practice. This includes training public officials through collaboration, such as recent sessions in Brazil, Kenya, and Egypt, reaching more than 200 participants on how to apply technologies to tackle specific local challenges. We also connect innovation to impact through the United Nations Innovation Technology Accelerator for Cities, UNITAC, which is a project we run in partnership with Hafen City University in Hamburg, Germany, and the United Nations Office of Information, Communications and Technology. We prototype and test applied digital tools with national, subnational government and other organizations. For an example, the building of establishment automated mapper known as BIM uses AI to map informal settlement to support municipalities in updating their records and planning upgrading intervention. I was listening to the County Secretary talking about the aspirations of smart cities in progress in Nairobi and thinking how applicable this tool will be. The digital job card is being used in Namibia, and the water access app in Somalia shows how innovation can directly improve service delivery, reaching those which generally are commonly left behind. UNITEC acts as an enabler by providing these tools in addition to strategy and capacity building. Distinguished participants, we are all familiar with the realities of urbanization in Africa. I am not going to preach to the converted. What we know is that by 2050, over 60% of urban population will live in Africa, will live in cities in which 70% of them will be youth. This rapid rise sharpens our focus in how then, as stakeholders, we should improve capacity and solve all these mentioned problems. We can all agree that smart cities and digitalization stands out as one of the most progressive transformations in this decade. Amongst other solutions for urban challenges, digitalization in African cities has, to a degree, advanced rapidly, driven predominantly by the Gen Z's population. Hence, here we are using papers. We are affluent and tech-savvy in driving growing connectivity and mobile technologies. Digitalization is fundamentally shaping multiple sectors, moving them from traditional institutions to dynamic data-driven ecosystems. We are witnessing these nuances such as digitalized e-government platforms for service delivery, land registries, urban observatory data collection avenues, and the tremendous progress in the financial sector, which maximize efficiencies in urban governance. We therefore recognize that key progress has been made with all what we are observing and seeing and experiencing. Although challenges in accessing digital infrastructure and the implications to its social divide remains a key challenge. Hence, our collective and holistic strategy should go beyond just technology, but also should embark upon prioritizing and targeting low-hanging operations in catalyzing sectors, such as accelerating, digitizing service delivery processes for local and subnational government. It should also promote data as a public utility. There is no difference between data and power and water as a public utility. This could happen by improving data integrity for data decision-making and digitalized systems. Providing a platform for knowledge exchange and sharing. We all agree that this forum presents that opportunity which will propel ideas and expose problems, but also solve crucial problems that are societal and developmental in nature. Promote partnership and collaborate our effort towards resource mobilization. With UN Habitat's depth in normative and technical knowledge on urban development, our impactful work on digital information, as mentioned earlier, through our UNITEC project, we endeavor to provide support to harness digital technology by acquiring new skills. We develop capabilities, advocating for inclusion of all marginalized groups and those at the highest vulnerabilities. UN Habitat headquarters, which is domiciled in Nairobi, continuously positions Kenya at the primary and central in accessing our innovation tools and knowledge. I acknowledge several ongoing partnerships with the Kenya government, our dynamic host country, our progressive collaboration with counties, industries, non-for-profit organizations or CBOs, grassroots organizations, academia, and non-state actors. As I conclude, together, I honestly believe that we have the vision, which has been articulated by speakers before me. We have the tools. We do have the political will. We do have the collaborative spirit to champion smart cities as inclusive cities that delivers digital dividend rather than digital divide. At the core, that prioritize human rights through a shift from top-down, technology-driven by approach to bottom-up, people-centered approach, whilst harnessing the transformative power of digitalization to ensure digital literacy, demonstrate our proof of concept project. We are being hosted in an unconventional way today at this forum through a visible, successful proof of concept that has a way to progress and a future for all of us, as we co-deliver solutions that also serve our vulnerable and underserved community, as well as sustain our generations to come. Let us continue to build thriving cities where neighborhoods are connected, not only by fiber optic, but a sense of sharing our common destiny. I think I will take this opportunity to share our executive director's invitation to the World Urban Forum. I do think that the team has it lined up. At this moment, I wish to thank you first and foremost.
I am delighted
I wish you all productive and transformative discussion over the past 2 days. Asanteni sana.
World Urban Forum will take place